Hello again, year 8. In this lesson we're going to look at lives, how we can add lives, how we can be killed or reduce lives, and how we can pick up new lives, and finally how we can display lives on a HUD or a heads up display. So the first thing, before we can begin this lesson, we're going to need a little sprite that will act as my, if you like, pick up sprite or extra life, what we call a one up sprite, and we're going to need a game over room. So I'm going to begin with creating my extra life sprite. I'm going to call it sprite extra life, and I'm going to load sprite. I'm going to use the same sprite as my character. I'm just going to reduce the size of this. So I'm putting in this and I'm going to edit it, and I'm going to transform. I'm going to scale this character. If I have it, it'll go from 64 to 32. I'm going to transform it again, and if I scale it by half, we will now be down to 16 by 16. I'm going to transform, I'm going to crop the edges of it, but no border, and I'm going to click OK, and I've got a very simple sprite for my extra life. So I've got that sprite extra life. Now what we're going to do is we're going to create an object that will have no sprite. We will use this to control the number of lives. In your tutorial, I think this calls something like set game. So I'm going to call it O for object set game, and I'm going to place this in the first level. So every time a character enters this level, they're going to be assigned lives. And in computer science, we use variables. A variable is a memory location that's value can change throughout the program. If you think about playing games, health, lives, hunger, magic, all these are variable within a computer game. You can become more hungry, less hungry, more lives, less lives, greater score, lesser score, etc. So I've created this blank object, and I'm going to add some actions, and I'm going to say when this object is created, we are going to add in lives, and I'm going to set the lives, and I'm going to begin my game with 3. Make sure it is not relative, because you don't want to begin with 3, 3, 3. So just set the game with 3. So now I am going to place this object into my game. So I'm going to choose object, set game, and I can position this anywhere because it will not be seen. I'm going to position it here. So when the game starts, my angry strawberry is going to have 3 lives. I want to now program the angry strawberry. If he collides with my enemy, my little ender, he's going to lose a life. So in my object character, I'm going to add in a collision event. Collide, what are you colliding with? The enemy. And then I'm going to go back to my lives, my set lives, and I'm going to set my lives to -1. You're going to lose a life, and that is going to be relative. 3, 2, 1, 0, boom, game over. So I've set that he will lose a life. Now I want to think about my respawn point, because when you hit an enemy, where do we want them to respawn? For me, I'm going to say just go back to the start. Respawn at the start. Jump to start. You could choose a position and put in X and Y coordinates. It's up to you. Even you could go to a random position. Mightn't be that playable, but so jump to start. And I click OK. So on my character, I'm going to add an event. I'm going to choose other, and I'm going to choose no more lives. And the no more lives, I'm going to choose jump to or go to a room. So I'm going to say a different room. What room is this? I'm going to choose, and it's a game over. I'm going to click OK and save that, and I'm now going to test my game. If we've programmed this correctly, I'm going to run into my enemy. I respawn at the start of the game. I'll do it 3 times, and then I'll just go to my blank room, and that will be adding lives. hopefully this will load. Here we go. So I'm going to jump into an enemy. Helps if you can play your own game. And I respawn. And I respawn. And this should be my last life. And it's game over and I'm taken to the room. So go through that, look at your tutorial, and in a separate video I look at drawing the lives on the screen. Good luck.